November, which means it is Detroit Retro Game Show season. Actually, it was last week. I went last week, and now I'm just finally actually sitting down and filming and talking about it. But this year's show was honestly the best one yet. It was so much fun. I got a lot of very good goodies that I will be talking about. And yes, as some of you may have guessed, I spent a lot of money yet again. Hi everybody, my name's Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. So to provide some context for those who might not know, the Detroit Retro Game Show is a relatively new gaming convention that's been happening in Detroit for the past few years. I'm pretty sure my first time going to the show was in 2022 when it was still a much smaller ordeal, but now in the year of 2025, this show has grown so much, and this year was honestly a complete and utter blast. Normally when I do videos about the Detroit Retro Game Show, I usually have like a theme that I'm trying to talk about. Like for the past few years, it's been rebuilding my PlayStation collection from when I was a kid, and this year I kind of, with how weird of a collecting year it's been, I kind of just went in with no expectations and no plan whatsoever. And honestly, I think that was the way to go this year because I got some absolute gems that I'm personally very excited about. There's one in particular that I'm saving until the end because it was the last thing I bought. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. So once again, thanks to the organizers of the show, I was once again a VIP, which meant I got to go into the show an hour and a half before the doors actually opened at 10. Now, did I roll up right at 8:30? Unfortunately, no. I was very tired. So we got there around 9:30, which was still nice because it gave us 30 minutes to walk around the expo hall, kind of get an idea of what we were maybe looking for, what we were interested in, and just had some, space to breathe while we were there. Because, spoiler alert, once the doors opened at 10, it got busy. And continued to be busy throughout the entire day. I should also mention this year in tow, I brought my lovely boyfriend. He is not a game collector in the sense that I am. He's got his own game collection, but he doesn't do this. But he was very willing to go with me, and actually in the pile that I have are some games that he was very specifically looking for that we were able to find. So that was really sweet. Now, one of the biggest differences this year for the show is how many different types of vendors there were. Obviously, you have your private collectors, you have your stores, and there were a lot, and I mean a lot of artists there this year, and that was so cool. I did buy a few things from one of them there that I'll show off at the end, but that was a really cool thing. There's always been a few every single year, but this year I feel like they really ramped it up in terms of like artists and people that weren't just selling games, but selling game adjacent things, which I really thought was really cool. Also, just a lot of the vendors this year really brought their A game. There was so much variety between all of the different places I went to. It was really nice. Like in the past few years, you definitely always have like a few standouts, like, oh, you'll see XD Gale of Darkness or a few like special editions or something like that, but there was a good variety of just a lot of stuff. It was really awesome. There was also a lot more Switch stuff this year, which was also really interesting. I feel like the past few years, because it's the retro game show, right? Not a lot of people have brought Switch stuff, but this year I saw a huge increase of Switch games, both new and used and all in between, which was really nice as like somebody who primarily collects Switch games, so that was nice. They also did a VIP raffle. Unfortunately, neither of us won. We were very close, but we did not. So once that was over, the doors opened and just, it was so busy. Not in a bad way. It wasn't busy in a bad way. Never once did I feel like we were overly crowded. Like, there are a few people that I think when they were, moseying and taking their time, it got a little congested in a few areas. But otherwise, it was still very easy to move between booth and booth. Sometimes you had to be a little patient, but that's just kind of how these things go. One other really important thing to note this year is the layout was so much different from the past few years that it's been at the Southfield Pavilion, which has been really, like, in the years past, it worked out great. This year was fantastic. They had you enter in at the Parks and Rec entrance, which, for those who don't live in, like, Detroit, this isn't gonna matter to you. But at the same time, it was just such a good and, like, tasteful swap in terms of the layout of the show. show that it really did make a huge difference. So they had you enter through there and then enter into the main area in a different way. And it made so much more sense. Everything was a lot more, I guess, facing the show horizontal. In years past, it was a lot more vertical, but this year it was a lot more horizontal, where you almost had like groups of tables and vendors to kind of walk through all the way to the back where the food truck stuff was. The layout was really, really, really nice. Other things that they've added to the show over the past few years that I really appreciate and would love to see more of are having guests there for autographs and pictures. They had a few last year and they had a few this year, and while this is going to sound horrible, none of them were super pertaining to my interests. So I didn't end up going to talk to any of them or anything like that, but I love that they're doing this. I think it's such a really, really cool thing that, you know, especially for a smaller convention, to still be able to have a few guests that people can meet. It's really, really cool. As the show continues to grow, I would love to see even more of that implemented. As in years past too, they also had quite a few arcade machines, which we didn't get to play any this time, but what we did go to are the gachapon machines. That was a cool addition. I am unfortunately a freak when it comes to gachapon. I love little figures and little things, and so gacha is just, it's perfect for me. It's so perfect for me. So we of course had to do the gachapon. I told Aaron I was gonna win him a prize, and I ended up winning him 2 because I'm very nice. They had a pretty nice variety of gacha as well, between Pokemon and some anime related stuff. I know they had some Dandadan, which I was kind of a little bummed I didn't end up getting, but that's fine. I ended up winning Aaron a Back to the Future gachapon that was a DeLorean, which was kind of neat. It fit very well. We were going to see Back to the Future the musical the next day, so that was very fitting. And then we ended up doing 2 Pokemon ones, which they're little rings that have little figures on them, which I thought was kind of cute. So I'll show off mine in a little bit as well. But yeah, it was really cool. That was a really nice addition that also I'd love to see that come again, because it's just a fun thing. And especially if you have little kids, which we'll get to that in a second, because that's another aspect of the show that really expanded this year, I feel. If you have kids that just kind of want a little thing to play around with, like, that is really, really cool. Or again, if you're like me, who is crazy. Another thing they really expanded on this year, in my opinion, is the kids area. And not only that, there were way more kids this year, both just there because they love video games and while maybe their parents are collecting and stuff like that, or kids that were genuinely interested in collecting. I thought that was awesome. Usually they do like a little goodie bag for any kids that come in, but this year they had like a whole kids area, which I thought was really kind of neat, actually. And in terms of other areas, they of course also had their retro gaming area that was separate from the arcade games, but had a whole bunch of different consoles and TVs set up. Just very, very, very cool. I also feel like the indie scene this year expanded quite a bit, and not even just in like they had more indie games available to try out and play, but just kind of in the realm of that. Something I found out, which is very interesting to me, is the Channel F. Raise your hand if you know what the Channel F is. If you watched the Netflix documentary a few years back about video games, they talk about the Channel F. And apparently Channel F is now a Michigan-owned brand, which is crazy. I think that's so interesting. So I got to talk to those guys a little bit, which was really, really cool. Got to see the Channel F in person, which I've never seen one in person before, so that was really, really neat. Just really cool stuff was happening. They also had one guy there that was all old Macs and other hardware, which was really cool. I have a video of this thing that was from Sears. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's in the video that I'll play here too. That was just, it's cool. I love seeing old electronics that I either have buried away somewhere or don't have. I don't know. It's one of those things that tickles my brain a little bit, and I don't know. It's just really cool that that's an aspect of the show as well. Gaming adjacent, but not exactly gaming. That said though, obviously I am still mainly here for the games, so I say enough dilly-dallying. Let's talk about what I got, and I'll kind of go through the day as we bought all of our stuff as well. So as I said, there were more Switch games this year that was really, really nice. And I could not help myself by picking up a few that I had kind of had my eyes on for a while for different reasons, but just haven't picked up yet. There's one that I actually kind of picked up more so for my mom. We'll start with that one. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, or Dana, I don't remember. I think it's Dana. This is a game I've been wanting to pick up for a while. It was really hard to find for quite a little bit, but here it is. used, but in a very, very, very nice condition. So funnily enough, oh my god, there's no game in here. I'm sorry, what? There's no game in there. Okay, there's a game in the other Switch game I bought. Oh my gosh. All right, so here's a lesson to everyone here watching. I'm gonna keep this in the video. Check to make sure before you buy any retro game that there's a game in there. Oh my gosh. I guess I bought the box for Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Which sucks because I was really excited for this game. So editing glasses wearing Alex here. I reached out to Reboot about the Ys game and if I was able to if there was anything that could be done about it. They were so cool. They found the loose copy of the game and are gonna mail it to me. That's so nice. That is so nice. So a happy resolution. I'm still gonna get that copy of the game. I'm still gonna finally be able to play it. Just crazy, just absolutely crazy. So thank you to the guys at Reboot. I really appreciate them. They do a lot of video game repairs, so if you're in the Detroit / just in Michigan in general and looking for people to do any kind of repairs on video game consoles or computers, or just looking for games or other retro hardware in general, go check them out. I'm really excited to now go down to their store because that's, again, I was planning on it already because they were cool at the show. They continue to be very cool, so yeah, highly recommend. So thank you guys so much for doing that for me. It means a lot. Anyway, the game that I bought from them that does have a physical game in the box, actually, which it's funny because I almost didn't even pick this up because I do not like this version of this game, but because I have its sequel on the Switch, I felt like I needed to complete it all, and that is The World Ends With You, the Switch edition. I do also have it on the DS, which I actually bought from the Detroit Retro Game Show a few years ago, funnily enough. This one's got a game in it, so that's really good. To stop the soul crushing, I'm gonna show off some cute things. There was an artist that I did end up buying a few things for Erin and I, because Christmas is around the corner. She had some very cute ornaments. I wish I could remember her actual, business's name because I don't have a business card in here. I thought I had a business card in there, but I don't. So if you know who this artist is, or you are the artist, let me know. But I got this cute little Umbreon Christmas ornament that's all painted, and I got a little Whooper. It's so cute. Erin got a Torchic one that had a whole bunch of Torchics on it. It was really cute. But yeah, just very cute. She was super nice. We talked for a little bit, and she gave me some stickers. She gave me some really cute stickers and some suckers, which was very nice, which was very, very, very nice. So I always love, as I said earlier, supporting artists that come to the show. I wish I could have supported more, but there were a few things that I knew I needed to buy elsewhere as well. So getting a few of the smaller ones out of the way, I did have to buy a PlayStation game to keep on the trend of rebuilding my childhood PlayStation collection. And this was a hilarious one. I wasn't even looking for it, but I found it and I was like, yup, it's coming home with me. And that is SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. Very exciting. Which, funnily enough, I also had this Rocket Power game that's featured on the inside. I did not see that, but having the manual with that on the back was great. But yeah, this is a game that in terms of SpongeBob games, Battle for Bikini Bottom is that is my game. That is what I'm doing. But this was my first SpongeBob game that I ever had, and I sucked at it. I was so bad because I was but a child and didn't really understand it, but this game also really made me sick. The jumping in it is very floaty and weird, but it's just so funny. I had to buy it. It was $5, so you know what? We're doing it. Also, continuing with my quest to get as many Harvest Moon games as I possibly can, I finally was able to pick up Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town for the Game Boy Advance. I have more Friends of Mineral Town, but I've never just had Friends of Mineral Town, so I'm excited to finally have the Mineral Town games complete, because now I have this, more Friends of Mineral Town, and the remake on the Switch. So this was a nice little pickup. It's fun to get a Game Boy Advance game. I haven't in a while. I've talked the past few years about buying a new Game Boy Advance just to have a normal Game Boy Advance. I have an SP, but I really kind of want the Hello Kitty Game Boy Advance, or one that's the frost blue color. But I didn't buy any consoles this year, surprisingly enough. Also, random thing that I'm just now realizing that I didn't see this year, nobody had any Virtual Boys, which has been a staple the past several years that I've seen somebody with a Virtual Boy, so good on them for selling them, but it was interesting. It was very interesting. Another Harvest Moon game, which I have a funny story about this one. I thought I owned this game. Like, for years, I thought I owned this game. And then I remember looking for it last year, because I was thinking about doing a PSP collection video, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, Mom, where did this Harvest Moon game go? And she was like, we never owned that. So then upon reflection, I remember she had thought about buying it a while ago, like a long while ago, and I think I talked her out of it for whatever reason, but now we have a copy, and that is Harvest Moon Boy and Girl. So I'm very happy to have this. If memory serves correctly, this is like a kind of hard Harvest Moon game, if I'm remembering correctly. I talked about it in my ranking list, but yeah, it's so crazy. I'm so happy to have this. I almost missed it too, because my mom asked me to look for PSP games. She gave me a list. That's actually one of the reasons I picked up Ys, because she wanted whatever Ys was on the PSP. So yeah, I'm really happy to finally have this. And also, it's just fun to buy a PSP game. That was the thing my mom said last year, is there weren't a ton of PSP games, especially ones that we didn't already have. I saw a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions for PSP available for sale, but this was a really lucky find for me, so I'm very happy to have this. I actually picked up a few Wii games this year as well. This was one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while. It is my favorite WarioWare game. I don't own it. I had to really think back. I was like, do I already have this game? That's been a whole thing recently. I really need to actually like chronicle my collection for games. We'll do that someday, hopefully soon, but I really need to do that because otherwise I'm gonna forget. But I picked up WarioWare Smooth Moves. I love this game. This was always my favorite game to go over to friends' houses and play, because I never owned it for myself. So now that I finally do, I'm going to force all of my friends to play it. So very happy to have this one. And it was only 15 bucks, so very nice. There's no manual, but that's fine. It's got the game, and that's what matters to me for this one. Now, this next one was actually one of the games that Aaron really wanted to find. He had a lot of good memories playing it, but we have shared custody over it because he does not have a Wii at his place. So Fortune Street, which is a game I've also never owned and has been on my Wii collecting list for a very long time. So I'm really, really happy to finally have this. It's really cool. For those who haven't played it, it's basically like Mario Party, but also with Dragon Quest characters and also kind of Monopoly-y. So I'm really, really, really excited. The one downside, it's got a few stickers on it from who sold it, but I think I can get those off. In general, I don't have a lot of sticky cases. There's a few that I'm gonna have to clean, but otherwise not too bad this year. And had to get one GameCube game, and this is the other game that Aaron really wanted to find. He actually wanted to find it for the PlayStation 2, but I saw this and he freaked out. And that is a game that I had never heard of until he mentioned it. Eggmania Extreme Madness. Have you ever played this game? Do you know what this game is? Let me know. It's a puzzle game. It's like almost backwards Tetris, but you have these eggs. You're in a tower. It's very interesting. We played it a little bit that night when we got home, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. He did admit it wasn't as fun as he remembered it being as a kid, but I'm still kind of happy to add this onto my GameCube collection. I think it's super great. It's just a fun random little game that I'm really glad we picked up. And I thought it was cool. I'd play it again. I would play it again, but yeah, let me know if you've ever heard of this game before. And finally, the big one, the big boy that I am so pumped for. I'm so pumped for. This was the very last purchase of the day. I've got footage of it too, so you'll see that. I saw this on kind of our last lap, and I said, okay, if I don't find anything else, we'll come back and get this. Because it is the most expensive thing that I bought. I always kind of treat myself to one big purchase, I guess. Except last year, I had a few big purchases. But this was my big purchase this year. And it's for a game series that I love so much, but hardcore missed out on any kind of special edition for it. This was one that I saw it. It's in pretty decent shape, and I knew I had to have it. And that is the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition Definitive Works set. And I am so happy to have this. Right. Aha! That's cool. It's got the Monado on like the outside case. Now this does it's not like a crazy special edition. It comes with a copy of Xenoblade Chronicles, which I do already own, but that's fine. I will have a second copy of it. And the art book, which is the one, that's the thing I wanted the most. But this is really cool. The packaging, you got the Minato going all the way around, so that's really neat. Open it up, and this is the art book, which I'll get to in a second. But here is the game. This is also used as well, but I think... How do I get you out? Here is the game. Also, I don't think this is on the back of anything else, but there's Shulk. So that's kind of neat. I didn't know the back of this was different. Let me grab my other copy to make sure that's true. So here's my normal copy. Yeah, the back is totally different. It's got like the normal retail back. So having Shulk on the back of it is kind of, that's a fun little surprise. So, okay, more reason to keep this copy of the game. That's really neat. That's really, really neat. Now, this is the box that the art book comes in. It's so sleek. It's so cool. Oh my gosh, the book is sealed. The book is sealed. I don't know if it's been resealed or what. The book is sealed. Oh my gosh, I did not know that was sealed. What in the heck? That's crazy because the game was open, but the book isn't. Yeah, I don't know if it's a reseal. I'm not good at looking at that kind of stuff, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, unfortunately, I'm keeping this for the rest of my life, so I'm gonna open this right now. Oh my gosh, that's crazy! That's crazy! This feels almost illegal because I spent so much money on it, but I wanted to look at the art book, so that's why I'm opening it, but oh my gosh. Yeah! Oh my gosh. So we got Bionis and Mechonis. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow! Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Look at that, look at that. Wow. Wow, 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 okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, we've got lots of character pages, a whole introduction from Takahashi about the anniversary. Oh my gosh. So much character art. Oh my gosh, there's Swimsuit Shulk. There he is. Oh my gosh, we've got sketches of locations. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have this. I know I basically paid like $140 for an art book, but also, I mean, the game with the like different back is also fantastic. The box is fantastic. I'm going to display this. This is, oh my god, I'm so excited. Those who have been around on the channel for a while know that Xenoblade is like one of the most important game franchises of all time to me. So this is really cool. And again, the fact that I missed out on so many special edition things, or like a few years ago, I missed out on the CD collection that came out that was so cool and fantastic. That's like one of my collecting grails. Having this is really, really special to me. So I'm so happy I picked this up. I'm so happy I just decided to do it. And it's crazy that it was sealed. Like, that is insane. Also, that was gonna be like the grand finale of the video, but I forgot I didn't show off my little Fuecoco gachapon ring that I got. It's very cute. Aaron got a Sinistea, so it was adorable. But yeah, it's just a little figure. We didn't figure out how to get them out of the Pokeball though, so I guess he's stuck in there forever. But anyway, that is the haul and the whole experience of the Detroit Retro Game Show. This video was crazier than I anticipated. I thought this was going to be an easy film with no strife, and yet... But I am really happy with the haul that I have. Again, having the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Definitive Works, is fantastic. Literally, absolutely incredible, and got to pick up a few other things that have been on my list, but I just haven't seen over the past few years, and some new experiences with my partner. So very good time overall. I think this year was definitely the best show yet, and I can't wait to see how they continue to expand as years go by. It seems like this location, the Southfield Pavilion, is going to be their spot for a while, which I think is fantastic. They don't pay for parking. It's a pretty big space, and I feel like they really utilized it pretty well this year. So overall, just very happy. Another happy Detroit Retro Game Show time for me. But let me know, do you often go to gaming conventions? What are some of your favorite pickups? What of the bunch of my pickups are your favorite pickups? But that is going to do it for me for this video. If you like what you see, maybe consider giving it a thumbs up, or if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I talk about my collections, I talk about games, I talk about video game music, all of that hoopla, and we have a really good time here. So love if you joined our little crew. We're actually, again, so close to 10,000 subscribers, it's freaking me out. Like, it's starting to really feel unreal, everybody. It's weird. But yep, that's gonna do it for me. So I will see you all in the next one, which I'm still not sure what it's gonna be yet. It'll be a surprise to me as well. Goodbye. Boop.